All right, I think we're in business now. Let's see if this is working. Da, da, da. Boom, 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 boom. Should be working, should be working, should be working. What is going on, everyone? Can you see me? Are we doing the right thing here? There we are. Look at that handsome devil. Yes, I'm talking about myself. Hey, environmental allergy, how are you? We can see me now. Sweet. Hear me and everything. Good, good, good. Hey, Jenny W. Moving to Idaho Falls from Sacramento. Advice: enjoy it. It's a lot better. And if anyone tells you they got crime there and what every place has crime, Sacramento has way more than it should. So, oh, you like my shirt? Thanks, bookmaker. Jamestown, PA. Arlington, Virginia. Love it here. Best place. Arlington is a nice place. Well, she was actually in Richmond. Never mind. My niece just her husband's job moved them from Richmond, Virginia to San Diego. Thanks. So I apologize for the setup. I don't know. I kind of darkened the back on purpose because if you follow the channel, the community, and all that, it collapsed. My whole closet that stores a bunch of my clothes and a lot of my equipment and my shoes. Last night, in the middle of the night, it just collapsed to the floor. Everything fell out all over my room. So today I had to reinstall everything. Got it finished and started putting things away. Then I thought I'd stream. Hey, Memphis, how are you? Montana in the house. Coast City, Asheville, North Carolina. I've known or Boston. I'd move to Asheville, North Carolina over Boston. And for one reason, Boston is extremely expensive. And Asheville's a little bit, I wouldn't say safer. It's a little cleaner and it's less expensive. What's going on, Wick? Denzel, how are you? It's your mom's 65th birthday. Well, happy birthday to her. Midland, huh? So, Madison, Wisconsin. So you'll appreciate this. So on my last video, I talked about how in the song we were talking about different suburbs, and I brought up Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. And there's an old song by Gordon Lightfoot, and he talks. There's a lyric in there about this shipwreck where it says that if they put 15 miles behind her, they would have made Whitefish Bay. All this time, I thought they were talking about Wisconsin, and but I knew the wreck was in Lake Superior and Wisconsin is in Lake Michigan, or at least Whitefish Bay is. I didn't know there was actually a town called Whitefish Bay and a bay called Whitefish Bay. Totally, all these years I've been thinking something totally wrong. Anyway, I thought because in the song he also says it was fully loaded, headed for Cleveland, which wasn't the fact. The fact was the ship was heading for Detroit, the real ship from the song. And I just thought he took, he was just using Whitefish Bay because it sounded better. Anyway, and moving on. Been to New Zealand? I have not. I have family from there. Actually, I have a great uncle, great uncle maybe. He was a code breaker for the British government, and for some reason, when he retired, he ended up in New Zealand, lived out his years there, said he never wanted to leave. How much weight have I lost? Right now, I'm thinking about 25 to 30 pounds since I peaked, which was probably around January or February, probably. Do I ever get tired of telling the truth? No. Um, Whitefish Point in Wisconsin is near Whitefish Bay. Top 10 reasons to move to Detroit, Michigan. That's a very short list. I don't know if we'd get up to 10. In reality, Detroit's doing a lot better than it has in the past. Briggs, can you do a top 10? Oh, I can do this. Watch this. Boom. Briggs, can you do top 10 reasons to move? Yep, that's a rough one. Mm. Yeah, Detroit is, I think you meant cheap, but yeah, it is very cheap. Hey, MCK, thank you very much. You Mount Shasta in your great rural towns. Mount Shasta is not that great. Matter of fact, let me look. I'm pretty sure they got a. But thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Especially, I don't know if you guys know it. YouTube advertising's been down since this recession they say we're not in. Mount Shasta, California. Mount Shasta's crime rate right now, it's not terrible, but it's not the best. So their violent crime rate is actually 19% above the national average. Their property crime rate, probably because not everyone has anything to steal, is actually 39% lower than the national, or I'm sorry, 50% lower than the national average, which gives them a total of 34% below the national average. I thought it'd be worse, but it's not terrible. Where they really screw you there's no jobs, housing sucks, and the cost of living is pretty high in Mount Shasta. Yeah, that's true. Um, Memphis does have a higher crime rate than Detroit does right now. It's pretty bad. Detroit's gotten a lot better. 2 3 years ago, Detroit would have blown everyone out of the water, but they've made great strides. And then Chicago, like I always say, everyone complains that Chicago's like this horrible place. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as they make it sound. Um, there are neighborhoods that would, there's places in Syria that are more inviting than parts of Chicago, but still. I am doing great. How are you? Serial child. Hey, Eric, thank you very much. Love you, Briggs. Keep truth telling the truth. I try and tell the truth as often as I can. Chicago has a sales tax rate 10%. That's pretty high, actually. Let's what this one say. Briggs, what do you think is the safest big city in the U.S.? That is a good question. Right off the bat, you want to say like Portland, Maine, or someplace in Vermont. Those two states are have some of the lowest crime rates in the country, but they're really not that big. Portland's kind of big, but they're really not big cities. Thank you for supporting the channel, by the way. Uh, but the safest, I would say you're probably looking at Arlington, Virginia. We were just talking about that recently. Um, Boise is pretty good too for a big city. We finally get to see the Pacific Ocean. Ooh, Big Sur is expensive, but it is a paradise. Big Sur is beautiful. I helped put out a forest fire there, or wildfire once. But Amy, thank you for supporting the channel, and you too, Eric. I really appreciate that. But yeah, Big Sur is beautiful. Back around 1990, they had a wildfire there, and I was in the army, and they used us to. We were up in Monterey, Fort Ord, and they We helped put out the fire for like 2 days. I was the guy lucky enough to sit in the helicopter as they picked up that big scooper. We'd just go out to the ocean, and I'd give the guys thumbs up when it was full. Fly up, dump it, come back, get another one. Did that for like 8 hours one day. It was great. Ooh, chat's moving kind of fast, and I forgot to slow it down. I don't know if I can at this point. Yeah, I don't think I can slow down the chat right now. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Thoughts on Arkansas? If you stay in the northwest corner, you're doing pretty good. Stanley, that's true with a lot of really bad neighborhoods or bad cities. New Orleans isn't as bad as some other places like the aforementioned Chicago. Chicago was horrible. And they've got some areas where cops drive in vans, like 4 or 6 to a van. They don't patrol it like one person or two-person car. Yo, Brit. Um, Tell you that one. What is my current opinion on how Seattle's doing right now? It's getting better. When I was there recently, so during the height of the pandemic, there were a lot more people camped out on the sidewalk and stuff like that, and it was horrible. And they still have them. It's not as bad as it was. It's getting a little bit better. Same thing with Portland. I was just down Portland last week, and again, I don't know where they're putting all the homeless people. I know they set up these places out by the airport where it's big vacant lots where they put like tents and stuff up for them and bathrooms. So a lot of that's I don't know if it's being shifted out there or they're helping people get off the street, whatever the deal is. Both Portland and Seattle are looking better. Long way to go before they'd be considered, doing great, but they're doing better. I have heard of Monroe, Louisiana. The violent crime rate there is high. Is it 660% higher? Let's take a look. Monroe, Louisiana. Yeah, Monroe is not doing good. Never has. Yep, their violent crime rate is 666% above the national average. Their total crime rate is 287% above the national average. Their violent crime rate isn't that bad, so kind of evens out there a little bit. I've been to Stockton, California. It seems many downtown commercial areas are still less busy than they were before the pandemic. Yeah, that's just the thing. We're gonna need more time as a society, a country, whatever world, to get back to normal. I mean, we've gotten in new patterns, we've gotten in new habits. I mean, more people are using DoorDash than ever before. More people use whatever shopping app. More people are using Amazon. So it'll take us a while before we kind of start getting back to normal, I think. And then, like I said, we're probably in the middle of a recession right now that they haven't admitted, but uh, that's hurting every business, not just YouTube channels. Early 2000s, Seattle was one of the best places to live, I'd say. My opinion. I mean, it's still pretty good place to live. Most cities have way more homeless than they should. Most major cities. And yeah, it's just bad everywhere. Okay, what's up with the homeless in Bend, Oregon? So those are hippie homeless. A lot of them are, it's just Bend is a nice place to be, and that's not just if you have money. Some people just show up because they hear it's a nice place to be, and they end up on the streets. That just happens. Hey, Briggs, looking for a nice city in the South, not in Florida. Remote friendly, good IT jobs. Okay, I could help you with that. So next week I'm doing a video about cities and towns that will pay you to move there if you work in IT. Doesn't sometimes they like remote workers. There's all kinds of different requirements for all the different cities, but I have a video coming out about that next week. I was surprised how many actual towns there are offering deals for IT workers, remote workers, things like that. And I actually have a sponsor for the video, the website that I get the information from. It's an amazing website, especially if you want to get paid to move someplace. Now, the payments come in different things like, you get discounts on your, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. They've got all kinds of things, but, you get like gym memberships, plus you get a monthly stipend for the first year. And there's all kinds of hoops they jump through, but they're trying to get you there and they're offering money and other things to get you to move there. And that video will be coming out probably next Friday. Oop, I missed a couple. I'm sorry. Douglas, sorry. I got a job in Gig Harbor, pass real estate exam. Nice. Wish us luck on getting approval and mortgage in Pensacola. Oh, move from there, Pensacola. Oak Harbor is really nice. Or Gig Harbor, I'm sorry. Gig Harbor is pretty nice. I've been up there before. It gets a little cold. That cold that gets to your bone, when it's wet and cold. That kind of gets in there, but it's still, you can't beat the beauty. And thank you for supporting the channel. Aaron Field, can you talk about cities with the best public transportation? I can. So there's a couple different options. I want to make sure because I'm actually getting ready to work on a video about this. So the first one is, well, I shouldn't say the first one, but Portland, Oregon is usually towards the top of the list. Our train system, what we call it the Max here, it's pretty good. I mean, I can get I live in the burbs, right? And I almost live in farmland. I'm like a quarter of a mile from where the farmland starts here. We have a urban boundary where you can't build a bunch of homes past this certain area, and that's like half a mile from my house. Anyway, I'm that far away from downtown Portland. I could drive about a mile, get on the Max, and go all the way to the airport, which is the complete other side of the city. It's an amazing system here, and it's relatively clean. Like any place, you're gonna have some problems. But then you got Denver, Madison, Wisconsin is phenomenal. Chicago, it's not as dangerous as you might think it would be. I've been on the Chicago L and all that a few times, never had a problem. It's crowded, but people always seem to be nice, and people are mellow, just stay themselves. It's a decent one. Washington, D.C., I haven't ridden theirs, but I've heard it's really good. San Francisco's is really good, too. New York, obviously, sure, I wouldn't have ridden the New York subway system in the 1980s. That was like you had a death wish if you did. These days, it's a lot better, and you got some crazies in there occasionally, but it's nothing like what it used to be. One thing it's efficient. Nice, sure, it's going to break down, but efficient compared to other cities. And then, of course, Seattle and Boston are pretty good too. But I'm going to have more details on that later. Hey, sorry, missed another one. Dennis, thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Hey, Brisley, we're nice. Okay, listen, Briggs, do you think Oakland is just sad? Well, Oakland is not the best. I have friends that live there or and around there. Uh, it's got some bad neighborhoods, just like any place else. It's got some bad neighborhoods, got some good neighborhoods. It's just too bad it's kind of a small place, and they got too many bad neighborhoods. I always look at this. A good city is going to have like 50% decent neighborhoods. They're going to have 40% sketchy neighborhoods, and then they're going to have 10% just nightmare places. Stay away from them. Los Angeles, those nightmare places are like 20%. Oakland, it's about 50-50. Tech is booming in Atlanta. It has been for a while. Hit like. Oh, yeah, hit that like button, guys. I always forget to tell you guys that. Oh, I got a banner for that, I think. Oh, it's running right now. Never mind. Boom. How about that? So creative these days. I'm sorry I was yammering on about the transportation thing, and I missed a lot of questions. I do apologize. Any thoughts on Providence, Rhode Island? I like Providence, Rhode Island. They got a little bit of crime issues, but not terrible. Amy Spreckle, let me see. I live about 6 hours away from Disney. I used to live in Orlando for a long time. Orlando's not that bad of a place to live. Let's see what we got here. Douglas, you knew Whitefish Bay, Michigan, didn't you? Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't do that one on purpose. I'll admit so usually when I do a mistake on purpose, it's just a pronunciation. Okay. I try not to give any bad facts. If I make a bad fact, which that was, that's on me. When I like to mess with people, if I'm giving you a bad fact, I'll bring it right up in the video. But when I'm toying with people, it's usually it's a mispronunciation. So, like the other day, we were talking about Tennessee, and I said Beale Street, Nashville, and then afterwards I said, "All right, for those of you trying to leave the comment, I know Beale Street's in Memphis. I'm joking with you." So, if I make a mistake, I'll tell you about it. If it's a purpose mistake, I'll tell you about it right then. But normally, when I'm messing with you, it's just pronunciations. That's a long explanation. Why do I do that? Because I made a mistake one time on a video. I'm talking in the very beginning. Wow, I got a couple of them from you. Dennis, thanks very much for supporting the channel. In the very beginning, I made one of my first videos, Top 10 Reasons Not to Move to Portland. I mispronounced something. And not only that, I misspelled something. I put something up there and people lit me up in the chat section. Now, here's the weird thing. They did that and they just left comment after comment because I kept mispronouncing, because I mispronounced something. They just commented and then they commented on my misspelling. So in the beginning, I used to do it a lot just to mess with people so they would comment. And now I just do it for fun. Los Alamos is nice. Best county in each state. So that is one that's on that board right there. We're going to be doing it pretty quick. I don't really look at counties as much as I probably should. To a lot of people, especially in the Midwest and back east, counties matter. Cities matter when you're on the West Coast. It's strange, I know. Ventura County? Ventura's nice. Any thoughts on Sioux City, Iowa? I have a lot of thoughts on Sioux City, Iowa. My Army buddy Kirk lives there. He's from there originally. I think he still lives in Sioux City. Where the best place? Oh, sir, where would be the best place in West Virginia to live? Which county would be the best in a rural area? So here's the thing. I just did a best rural town video on West Virginia probably a month ago. And West Virginia's got its problems. But if you're an IT, if you can work remotely, it's one of the best states you can move to. It's beautiful. And their crime rate's not half as bad as it used to be at the height of the opioid crisis. And it is dirt cheap. Beautiful land, dirt cheap real estate, cost of living's low. You could bring a job there and you want to get ahead, I'd suggest going to West Virginia. Just about any place you go, as long as you're not too far out of the city, it's going to be decent. If you get too far away from the city and back in the hollers there, woo, gets very relatives marrying each other type stuff. And I'm not even making a joke. That crap is real there. Hey, Briggs, what are your thoughts on, I don't even know where that is. Close to Idaho Falls. I think I have heard of that. I don't know. Maybe I haven't. So I couldn't give you an accurate thing. Briggs, are there any good rural towns in Mississippi or Louisiana? Yeah, there are. We're going to do Mississippi pretty soon. It's going to be a short video. Have you ever been to North Georgia mountains? I have been several times. I spent a lot of time in Georgia when I was in the military, and that was back. I was young, but I had a car. I used to travel all over that state, and then Alabama too, just small towns and just check things out. Any thoughts? Oh, here. Any thoughts? If you're familiar with, no, I'm not. That's another one. Too many projects. I'm sorry. You guys hitting me up with a couple of them tonight. I don't know about. Thoughts on New Hampshire? New Hampshire is a great place to live. Like what, second or third lowest crime rate in the nation? It's Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. People don't commit crime there. It's usually way better than other states. Connecticut's a nightmare. I'm missing some thoughts on Newburgh. Don't know that one. You got, how many people do we have watching right now? 306. Okay. That's why we're moving so fast. And I didn't slow down the chat. I'd appreciate it if you guys would slow down the chat. Maybe don't ask a question every minute. Briggs, best place in North Carolina to live. I like the whole Asheville area. The outskirts of it, that's more my type place. The Outer Banks, Wilmington, a lot of people don't seem to like Wilmington too much. I like Wilmington. Been there a couple times. It's been like 5 years. things change a little bit, but not enough to where I'm going to be worried, about living there. Sophie, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. And also, Too Many Projects, thank you for supporting the channel. Really helps out, guys. Let me see this one. Do you think you'll ever move to Eastern Pennsylvania? I would move there tomorrow if I can get my family to. Mention the idea. We own land in a place called Bethany, which is right outside of Honesdale, and I've never pulled the trigger on it, and it's just sitting there right now. We're gonna do something. Wayne County, I love Wayne County. Well, then you know where Bethany area is, right out. It's just north of Honesdale. Oh, here's one. If you had a choice between Fargo, North Dakota, or Minneapolis, which one would you relocate to? I would take Fargo. I like the cold, not like Minneapolis isn't cold. I like the cold, but I don't like a ton of people. And Minneapolis, it gets a little crowded for me. But I'll tell you what, on my list of place I'd like to live, I'd really, really like to live in Wisconsin myself. Riggs, what's your least favorite city in the U.S.? And don't say Detroit. Okay, let's just go with my least favorite that I've been to or visited recently or had to go to. I'm not a fan of Jackson, Mississippi. First of all, I don't like going there at all. Actually, I can't stand it. I've been to Miami. I don't like Miami too much. I've been to Jacksonville, Florida. Don't like Jacksonville either. But I think honestly, is there a city I'd never go to if I had the chance, or if I had to go, I'd really be pissed about it. I would say Sacramento. I can't stand Sacramento. I have gone geocaching. Yes, I have. Early when I don't know when it started, but when I started hearing about it 8 years ago, we did it for like 2 months and then quit doing it. Thoughts on Orange County, New York, or that's where that biker family that made the bikers is from. Yeah, I don't know much about it. Favorite city or town in New York City? Troy, New York. I really like Troy, New York. Can you do a video on Oregon? I've done several on Oregon. Nick, what's your favorite city food wise? Okay, what's my favorite city food wise? Laredo, Texas, San Antonio have those two. One of those two have the best tacos and Mexican foods. El Paso too. I should throw that in there. Los Angeles and San Diego, they got pretty good ones. I think out of all of them, Laredo, Texas has some of the best Mexican food I've ever been to or I've ever had. When it comes to pizza, Chicago, hands down. I love Chicago pizza. Actually, now thinking about pizza, and I want to order pizza. Which state has the best ranch land? Good question. I would probably say Oklahoma, Eastern Colorado, somewhere in that area. I've been to Montreal, but it was only for like a half a day, so I'm not a good judge of that place. Thoughts on Raleigh, North Carolina? It's nice. It's slowing down on people moving there. It got a little too nice for a while. Now it's getting packed a little bit. It's getting a little more expensive. Not as many people are moving there. Can you do a video on Oakley, California? Oakley. I know it's up in Northern California, but yeah, I thought so. It's in the Bay Area. Yeah, it's right by Antioch. Okay. Knew it sounded familiar. Brentwood. Okay. Not too far. That's outside of where's Lance live? Lance lives now in I know it's someplace out by there. My old army Tracy. He's down Tracy. Okay, that's a little farther away. My best friend from the army, my roommate for like 4 years, Lance, he lives in, Tracy. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing some Bay Area videos again. What's the best county in Idaho in your opinion? Yeah, I don't know the counties too much. Like I said, I'm starting to just study up on them. And oh, by the way, crazy cool lady 1999 can't even speak. Thank you for supporting the channel. I don't know the counties too well. I usually focus on states and cities, but I'm going to change that up. I do not save my live streams. Well, they're on there. I just put them on private after a couple days. That's because when people are coming to my channel, they're looking for the lists. And if they click on this one, they only watch like a minute and turn it off. And that really tears up my stats. So, I got a 2-hour live stream up there and people are just watching 1 minute. It starts dragging everything down and it bums me out. So I put them on private after a couple days. What do you think about Albuquerque? Albuquerque's nice. It's a good place. Yo, welcome. Top 10 reasons to move to Oakley. There are too many people moving there. Yeah, probably is. One thing I was gonna do was the best towns in the Bay Area. Best towns in Los Angeles metro area, things like that. Suburbs. I'm doing this suburb thing. I tried out the suburb video the other day. If you guys haven't watched that, please go watch that. I really thought that was going to do better. Normally, when you see me put up a video like I did, the best small towns and the rural towns in the United States did really well. So then I started doing the states. Well, I put up the best suburbs. I knew it was going to do really good. It didn't. So if you haven't watched that one, please go watch it. And again, thank you, Too Many Projects, for supporting the channel. Briggs, were you picking between Albuquerque and Santa Fe? I would pick Santa Fe. I like Santa Fe. It's nice. Top 10 places to buy. I've been thinking about doing one about top 10 places to buy acreage or land. I've done them in the past, but it's time to update those. It was like 3 years ago I did those. Any small town? Let me see that one. That one looks interesting. Luis Torres. Any small towns that are good for Asian immigrants? Well, Southern California, pretty much any place around there. Like Torrance, California is actually where I grew up. And I went to a school that was, and this was for the time, 80s. It was kind of rare. It was probably 50% white, 25% Korean, and then we had 10% Filipino, 10% Japanese, and then Hispanic. So Torrance High, which was across town, I went to West Torrance High. They had even more Asians, and North High had a whole bunch of Filipino, Samoans, things like that. So that area, the South Bay, Torrance, Carson, those are really good places if you want to move to the United States and live in a city in California. That's where I would suggest. I did a video, best states for Asians, or with the highest population. If they have a high population of any race, they're not living there because it sucks for them. They're living there because it's a good place to live. Briggs, what do you think the worst incorporated city town of all sizes in the U.S. East St. East St. Louis is freaking horrible. I wouldn't live in East St. Louis. It's pretty bad when you got a freeway and I've made a horrible mistake turnaround. If you look at the freeway that goes into East St. Louis, like you cross over into East St. Louis, you get a chance to see what it is. If you look at the freeway, there's a quick turnaround so you can get back on to where you really don't have to go off into the neighborhoods. It's really strange. I think it's pretty neat though. Where is that? I'm looking for it right now. A friend told me about it. Excuse my language. He said it was the oh shit exit. There it is. Okay. If you look the 55 freeway crossing over into East St. Louis from St. Louis, there's like the second exit after the river. You could see that there's like this oh shit turnaround spot where you could get back on the freeway and not have to go in the neighborhood. Edwards Air Force Base. Never got one notice up yonder here in SoCal, Edwards Air Force Base. I think, oh no, I think he just retired. My friend Hinojosa was at Edwards. He left the army and transferred over the Air Force. Which city is, oh, I missed something. Hey, Briggs, thanks for mentioning Lake George. Oh, yeah. Lake George is great. Yeah, Lake George is expensive. That whole Finger Lake area is pretty expensive. Did that one. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, everyone. What do we got thumbs up wise here? It doesn't want to show me. Yeah, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. There we are. Now I got it. Okay, let me turn down the volume there. 200. Hey, pretty good. 298 watching and Douglas Biggs. Yeah, I did that one. I did that one on purpose. If you'll hear in the video, I think I pronounced it right once. The once I pronounced it right was a mistake. I actually meant to mispronounce it the whole time. And if you notice that video, go to the Michigan video. Look how many people corrected me on Traverse City. Traverse City. Now I can't even say it right. I'm thinking about it. Traverse City. What am I missing? Oh, there we go. Rick. Yeah, East St. Louis is pretty bad. You're an opposite of me, an Oregonian who moved to California. Yeah, it's like we exchanged, huh? There's not many of you. Actually, in the 80s and 90s, I swear to God, I grew up like 4 blocks from the beach. And I was at the beach all the time, every summer, meeting girls or whatever. And we always met girls from Oregon that moved down there for whatever reason. And it was like Southern California was like where they wanted to be. So you grow up in a small town, Oregon. First thing you do when you get a car is you drive to California. I met so many girls. Actually, one of my friends married one of them. They got divorced, but getting punched by a hunting. I have never been punched by hunting in West Virginia. I think I did get stabbed by a guy from Kentucky, though. Girls, yes, girls. When I was young, they were girls. Now I'm old, and it sounds weird saying girls. Which video gets the best views? For me, well, it used to be negative videos. So there's two things. If it's a negative one, like if I do next week, the worst rural towns in whatever state, I guarantee I'm going to get a bunch of views. I try and stay away from the negative thing these days. That's how I built my channel, though. That's where I got my best views. And then my audience kind of shifted a little bit. And now it seems like the positive videos, if those attract more people. But if I do the occasional negative one, I get a boost. Or if I talk about how cheap land someplace, that usually gets people looking. Which city in Iowa would I move to? I don't know. It's a good question. Never really thought about that. Adam, just about time for bed, huh? I need a Mappy. No, I don't think so. That's Nick's thing. I think Nappy's pretty funny. Hartford or Bridgeport, Connecticut? I'd choose Bridgeport over the two. Have I ever had celebrities comment on my video? Well, I don't know if you call them celebrity, but for some reason, some porn stars started following my channel, and they've communicated with me on Twitter. I thought it was really strange. They wanted me to do best place for strip clubs. I'm like, "Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that video." 'Cause it's yeah, it is expensive in California. Favorite city in Texas? I really like San Antonio. I like Austin. Whoa, where Warren Air Force Base is? Oh man, no, I don't. I think is that the one in Florida? I did some training at one in Warren Air Force Base. Oh, that's Cheyenne. Okay, yeah, I was wrong. What is the one I'm thinking about? And God, it's been so long. I'm talking like 30 years. Not Elgin. Was it Elgin? No, it wasn't Elgin. No, it was Elgin. Okay, Elgin Air Force Base. Yeah, because we had to do some training there one time, and we kept going down to the beach down there. It was nice. Miramar. That wasn't the beach we went down to. Which one was it? It was had a Spanish name. Wasn't Laguna. Miramar? Miramar? I forget. I forget. Anyway, moving on. JT has been following you for a while. Good. That's what I like to hear. Massachusetts, what did you like? What did I like? I love all the history in Boston. It's a little too crowded, way too expensive, but if you're going to visit, it's a really nice place to visit. For some reason, I love a Massachusetts winter, but there's a lot of history there, and I'm kind of a history nerd sometimes. My thoughts on Malcolm X is he a superhero? Um, Actually, when I was a stand-up comedian, I had a joke about that. I know who Malcolm X is. My thoughts, I don't know. I just know I don't know much about him. I did watch the movie, and it was very interesting. But when I was a stand-up comedian, I had a joke that I said, "I'm so Caucasian, I thought Malcolm X was a superhero." Used to get some good laughs. Thoughts on South Side of Chicago? Stay out of there. Favorite city in each state, or which city? Let me see that one. I lost it. It's moving too fast, guys. I got to tell you right now that I'm missing a lot of these because I do this by myself. I give you this disclaimer all the time. Don't get mad because I missed something. If you could see my chat right now, it's just flying because and you guys just see the comments that there's a bunch of blocked comments too that I have to sift through. Chicago, Gary State. Well, I'd still live in Gary's pretty bad. Thoughts on Lincoln, Nebraska? Lincoln's not a bad place to live. Hello, Briggs. Really love your videos. Like it when anyone says that. Videos, it's nice to finally see face value. Well, thank you, Rashonda. I appreciate that. Scroll up. I've been scrolling up. Okay, let me see this one. What's with Austin and Portland fight on who's weirder? So it's the music scene and it's the artist scene. They're both very artsy type places, and any art scene, any music scene is gonna draw some weirdos, and both places have quite a few weirdos. I shouldn't say weirdos, just well, no, there's a bunch of weirdos, but you have a lot of people that just want to live an unconventional life, and they just want to live a little bit different. Do I like 80s music? I love 80s music. What genre of 80s music? So they called it new wave. I was into that, but I started off my first introduction to music was LA punk. I was listening to X, Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies. I grew up on that stuff. And then as I got a little bit older in high school and started getting into girls and stuff like that, I kind of got away from that and started listening to the more things like The Clash, bands like that, New Order, Joy Division, big Joy Division fan. When was the last time you had a haircut? Oh God, it's been decades. I've been shaving my head since I got married. I grew up in Monterey in the 80s and used to go to the armed forces in Fort Ord. Love the channel. Thanks, Sean Barry. I appreciate that. If you grew up there in the 80s, I was there. I was there from 85 to 90. I'll tell you that right now. Here we go. We got a good one. Riggs, what makes the neighborhoods near an airport so bad? What it is, it's normally the warehouse and the amount of commerce going back and forth. The trucks, the open spaces that aren't occupied by people at night, that draws in a lot of crime. And that's the biggest problem. Also, since at night, there's a lot of, the industrial parks and stuff like that, which surround airport, they don't have the police presence that a neighborhood would. So you got a lot more people sleeping in their cars, sleeping on the streets, and things like that. And that's what it is. It's the industrial areas normally around an airport that draw a bad element. That's any place. It doesn't have to be an airport. An industrial park or train tracks, just weird crap happens around them all the time. Oh, here's one. What about Grants Pass? They call it Grants Pass for a reason. It's not a good place to live. I mean, there's way worse in the country, but by Oregon standards, Grants Pass is not a good place to live. My thoughts on Huntsville, Alabama? Huntsville, Alabama is a great place to live. I love Huntsville. What are some of the cities to avoid Massachusetts? Yeah, they got some. I don't know. Offhand, I'd have to look at the numbers. Pam, thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Hayward, Iowa. My thoughts on Hayward, Iowa are, I don't even know where it is. There it is. Ooh, look at that. Right there on the river, the Big Sioux River. Oh, wait, I have seen this place before. That is way, so above Akron. Okay. We talked about Akron not too long ago. And you guys got a hospital. Yep, Hayward, there it is. Let me see this. Is this place I was talking about not too? Yeah, the community hospital there. It's a good sized place for such a small town. Regional healthcare, emergency room, and everything. That's a big thing. A lot of the people do videos, I'm usually talking about retirement, and that's one reason I bring up healthcare all the time, because as you get over 40, maybe into 50 and stuff like that, if you're moving someplace, chances are you're going to need a specialist and a decent hospital around you. That's why it's always brought up. In case you guys are wondering why I always include it in most videos, because that's one of the biggest questions I get. What's the healthcare like there? Best Cleveland suburbs, just talked about the other day. Come on, you guys remember it. Who didn't watch the other video the other day? Shaker Heights. Shaker Heights is one of the best neighborhoods in Cleveland. Go Browns, you ain't lying. I'm a diehard Browns fan. I've even liked them when they sucked. I even liked them more than any other football team when the Browns took a hiatus. Rigby, Idaho, also nearby Idaho Falls. I know that one. Don't know much about it right now. 10 safest U.S. state capitals. I think I did that one. Didn't I do that one? I love Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is great. Ever eat at Schmidt's in Columbus? I have not. Rural towns in northeastern USA. We are getting ready to do some college towns videos, but we're going to do those in late July, early August. Hey, Tammy Gibson, I'm sorry. What is the very favorite small town anywhere in the Pacific Northwest? Ooh, my favorite I like Hood River a lot. I really do. But that's still not my favorite one. Cannon Beach. I love Cannon Beach. I that's probably where I'm going to end up. I also like Point Roberts, which is in the Seattle metro area, kind of. It's kind of in the Vancouver, Canada metro area, to tell you the truth. But if I snap my fingers right now and could move anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, it would be Cannon Beach. Best music venue in the States. Ooh, that is a good question. But I appreciate you doing that. And Terry Hawk, thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Always helps the channel, especially since I got to feed a pig now. I should do this when you guys do that. Boom, boom. I don't think I did that last time. But yeah, Tammy, I would. Those are the places I'd live. Hood River would be a distant one to Cannon Beach, but Cannon Beach would be the prize. Live around suck along with the city. Yeah, they do suck pretty bad most time. Hey, Albert, how are you? Douglas Biggs, feed a pig. Beep beep toot toot. What do you think of Tokyo? Good question. I don't think about Tokyo. West Virginia. Oh, I missed a good one. West Virginia is a good place. Let me see this one. West Virginia is a good place to buy property. It is. I mean, they get some pretty harsh winters. Their internet isn't the best everywhere, but with Starlink, maybe that's a better option these days. Yeah, but yeah, definitely cheap in West Virginia. Cannon Beach is awesome. Visit all the time. College towns, Clemson. Oh yeah, absolutely. Clemson's really nice. Clemson, Stanford, such nice places. Best pizza. Oh, Giordano's in Chicago. Here's one. Briggs, how come Compton, California has all categories graded F? Because Compton sucks. Is Compton the absolute worst city in the United, or like it used to be? No, it's gotten better. It's not even the worst in California anymore. I mean, or in Los Angeles. It's gotten a lot better. But yeah, their categories, they suck. Their schools are horrible. Employment, they really don't have jobs. A lot of people live in Gardena and or a lot of people work in Gardena, Carson, and Long Beach that live in Compton. Compton itself doesn't really have jobs. Their crime rate is still pretty high up there, but their total crime rate is only 51% above the national average. Their violent crime rate is 204% higher. That's not that bad compared to places like East St. Louis, Southside Chicago, things like that. It sucks, but they're not the worst anymore. Yeah, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and Northern Minnesota, which is more brutal? My opinion, I really can't say. Um, I've been to Minnesota 3 times when it was winter, and Michigan once when it was winter. And it was every time I've gone to Upper Peninsula, it's been summer. No, wait, no, it's been summer. So they're probably not far off from each other. Best car? I don't know. That's a choice. That's a preference. I like a Subaru. Oh yeah. Riverside, I don't know. Riverside's not as bad as San Bernardino. San Bernardino, that's actually where our buddy Nick Johnson grew up. Briggs, how does Atlanta get a B grade for crime? I don't know. You got to ask the people who live there. It's not that bad. Why do I want to live in Madison, Wisconsin? I've been there a few times, a handful of times, and every time I've been there, I just loved it. The people were decent. It's beautiful. It's nice. It's got good public transportation. It's got a great school right there. The schools are great. It's a beautiful place. I love the vibe of Madison, Wisconsin. Carson City, Nevada. I could, you know, I don't think about it often. I did not completely fix my closet. Well, I did fix my closet. I just haven't put everything back in. It's all laying on the floor behind me. That's why I darkened the back so you can't really see what's happening back there. There's a nice lava lamp back there. Can you see it? Here's a good one. Best cheap cities. Southern cities live in Asian immigrants. That might be a little too specific for me to really sell that video. Briggs, you've heard of Sugarland, Texas? Oh, yeah, absolutely, I have. I'm a winter type of dude. I love right now it's like 95 degrees here in Oregon, and I can't stand it. Bonnie Allen, thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. And I love that color orange Tammy has up there. It's one time I donated $100 just to see what the color was. Please don't do that. I'd feel horrible, but it's pink in case you wanted to know. See, it goes the different colors go by different denominations, I guess you could say. Wick, best legal weed cities. I would Wick, but I'd get demonetized. So this is how the demonetization thing works. If they pick up on it and you mention anything like that, they just don't run ads on your videos. And this is how I make my living. So I really don't like to not make money at what I do, especially if I spend a whole day or two making a video. I did a video not too long ago on the conspiracy that surrounds weed and why it became illegal in the 1950s and stuff like that. And it was just a conspiracy video. It got demonetized. I disputed it and they said, no, it's still demonetized. So I stay away from it. Thoughts on the Inland Empire, California? Yeah, it's the Inland Empire. It's not the best place to live. He doesn't get paid. Schools and education. I think I've done that. There's a lot of videos that I've done in the past that we're getting ready to update. I've been doing this since 2016. 2017 is when I got serious about it. So there's a lot of videos I did in 2017, 2018 that need to be updated. Thoughts on Springfield, Massachusetts? It's not that bad of a place. I've been there a couple times. One time I was there during the winter and it was pretty brutal. Matter of fact, God, what year was that? 97? Maybe I forget. But hey, thank you very much, Tyler Osborne, for supporting the channel. What's your favorite town in Montana? I like Billings. I really do. Billings is nice. Glacier Bay, Glacier Park. That's a nice little. I know it's like a resort town, but I've been there a few times. I really like it. But outside of there, I would say Billings. I like Billings. How much does per video YouTube pay? It doesn't go by per video. It depends on how the video does. Depending on I'll run this down for you because a lot of people ask this question all the time. So what it does is when those ads pop up, it depends on the ad that's running, how much of the ad someone watches, do they click on it? There's a couple different things. Some ads, just as if you look at 2 seconds of it, there's going to be money coming my way for it. There's all kinds of different things that go into it, but really it's all the more views you have, the more you get paid. Then you have to look at what's your subject. My subject kind of falls into the travel and real estate category, which is a fairly profitable genre, I guess you could say. If you got a kid that does a gaming channel, I promise you, he would need probably about 5 times as many views as I get to make what I make. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it has to do with how many views you get and what's your subject. And hit the like button. That really helps the channel too. Thoughts on Atlanta? I love Atlanta. Don't like Atlanta in the summer though. Laurel, Montana. Lexington, South Carolina. I don't have any thoughts on Lexington, South Carolina. I was in the middle of something and I forgot what it was. Why? I'm gonna scroll up, see if I can find Council Bluff, Iowa. Council Bluff's nice, I think, if I'm thinking of the right place. Sweltering heat. Briggs, I'm currently in Houston, and you won't, the heat is bad there. I've heard. I have friends that live there. Um, Up there in north of, everyone was going there. What is it? North of Dallas. Can't think of it. It's gonna kill me. Plano. So Plano, Texas, they got the Toyota dealership headquarters of North America. It used to be in Torrance, California, which I grew up in Torrance, and a lot of my friends worked for Toyota there. They had this huge campus with like 20, 30 buildings or something like that, and swimming pools and all kinds of things. Well, they picked up and moved to Plano, and they took a lot of people from there that had worked there for years. Actually, my high school girlfriend lives in Plano right now. She hates it, and she's one of the ones that she's got her law degree from UCLA, but she's worked for Toyota. She's kind of high up there a little bit, and she went with them. Yeah, I am going to go back to San Antonio when the river is not drained, Debbie. Denzel, I think you probably already went to bed. This one was a few minutes ago, but good night, buddy. In case you're out there. Lava lamps are awesome. All right, let's get down to the bottom here. What is that? Oh, here we go. Best towns in Colorado. Hubby's Army vet needs good schools, kids, grades, budget. Oh, wow, that's a pretty place. Um, so Colorado Springs is always a good choice. You want to save a little money, you go down south of there a little bit, but Colorado Springs is usually a good choice. Um, Durango, you get down to Durango. I don't know if you really want to move there. They got a little crime and stuff, but it is cheap. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. I like I like the Boulder area. Again, a little expensive, probably a little higher than that budget. And Fort Collins, also, again, in my opinion, is decent. A lot of other people might not think Fort Collins is that good. I like it. But, then you can go to the other side. Grand Junction, again, iffy at best. But there's a couple places around Grand Junction that are decent. A lot of small towns just outside of Grand Junction are worth taking a look at. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that, by the way. All right. What do we got going here? 310 people in the chat. Best rural town in Maryland. We're getting ready to do that one, so buckle up for that one. Thoughts on Mobile, Alabama? I've been to Mobile, Alabama, Mobile, probably about 5 times. Loved it each time, and I'll probably be going back because I think we're going to take a cruise out of there pretty soon. Thoughts on Tucson, Arizona? Tucson's one of my favorite ones out of all the major cities in Arizona. Allentown needs some help, but it's still a decent place. I mean, there's worse, way worse. I could say. Anniston, Alabama. Do you really just ask me my thoughts on Anniston, Alabama? Stay away from Anniston, Alabama. Place horrible. I'm gonna look and see what their crime rate is right now. It's ridiculous. Unless something. There it is. Anniston, Alabama. Oh, there they are. They're just horrible. Okay. So Anniston, Alabama's crime rate is 362% above the national average. Their violent crime rate is 671% above the national average. Those are all the thoughts you need on Anniston, Alabama. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that I'm out, by the way, guys. That was a mistake. I can't wait to hit 1,000,000. I'm gonna do something special when I hit 1,000,000. I don't know what it's gonna be, but we're gonna do something cool. Maybe I could do some giveaways or something like that. Best town in Texas Hill Country. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Oh, do you like Cartoon Briggs? I'm getting mixed reviews on him. I got like 6 of those done right now, so I gotta do some more. The reason I start doing that, I have a lot of people that like to, they're copying my style, my thumbnails, and my videos. There's quite a lot of that going around. A couple of them have given up because people basically hassled them. It's like me and Nick Johnson kind of do this genre, and I mean, even Nick was doing it before me, but we're kind of the main people in this genre, I guess you could say. And there's a lot of people that see that and they just start doing it too. And they get so bad that they're trying to make their thumbnails look just like my thumbnails so they can, do whatever. It's stupid. So I started putting that guy up there so you guys will always know it's me. Yeah, little Briggs. I had a friend text me. He's all, "Yeah, that guy's a little too jacked. I haven't seen you look like that since you were 25." I was like, "Yeah, okay. I don't need that kind of abuse." Florida City, Florida is the worst, right? It's not good. Funniest town name you've ever come across? Of course, you've got Climax, Pennsylvania. I think it's. Then you also got Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. Um, those are two of my favorite. Thoughts on Newark, New Jersey? I had a city official contact me because I slammed them in a video. They weren't happy with me, and I had to point out everything I said is 100% true. So what are you calling me about, or what do you email me about? And he had this long list about part of my job is to make sure people know that this is a great city, and you didn't talk about any of the good parts about Newark, New Jersey. And I'm all the title of the video was top 10 reasons not to move to Newark, New Jersey. How would it? And I told him, I'm all, how would it be if that's the subject? And all of a sudden I start giving a glowing review. It makes no sense. He never got back to me. Strawberry Plains, Tennessee. Nice. Tornadoes. Really? I've never even heard of that place. I have heard of Strawberry Patch, Arkansas. Best thing since Slight Spring. Thanks, Logan Peters. I appreciate that. Strawberry Plains, Tennessee. Yeah, I don't know about that place. Let's take a look. Tennessee. There it is. It does exist. Let me see what. Oh, it's actually part of Mascot, Tennessee. Is that what it is? Strawberry Plains looks like it is a area just outside of Mascot, Tennessee. They don't give me any real stats. They give me the stats for Mascot, and decent crime. They don't have jobs. Their schools get a big F, and their cost of living is really low. That's about typical for Tennessee. LaPorte, Indiana. I don't know much about it. Asking. Okay, let's see this one. Thank you for supporting the channel. By the way, anyone that has donated tonight, I really appreciate it. Asking as a former Wyoming resident, what are your thoughts on the Black Hills region of South Dakota, Wyoming? It's if you like the outdoors, it's one of those places you got to have on your bucket list. The Black Hills is pretty cool. You got a lot of really nice, cool towns there. The history's amazing. All the outdoor activities are just amazing in the Black Hills. About living there, I don't know. Their winters get kind of harsh, and I don't know. You might be run over by a bison or something like that. Thanks, Ronald. But thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Laskin, wow, Laskin. Best place to visit? Ooh, I don't know off the top of my head. How many states have I been to? All of them, and put it this way: there's only about 5 or 6 I've only been to once. Town named Deming, New Mexico. I have heard of it. I don't know where it is. Deming, New Mexico. There it is. Oh, this place is horrible. Oh, let's see what this one is. It's not as bad as what we talked about earlier. Anniston, 161% above the national average. Violent crime rates, 148 above the national average. Their housing gets a big F, and so do their schools, along with their employment. They don't have any jobs here. The income here is 52% lower than the national average, and their unemployment is almost 100% above the national average. Good job, Deming. People there can't even afford a U-Haul. Affordable towns. I did a river one not too long ago, but I want to do affordable ones. Oklahoma City or Tulsa. I would go with Tulsa. That's just me. I don't mind. Stillwell, Oklahoma's pretty good. Actually, they'll be on that video where they're paying you to move there. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to wind this down. What time is it? It's only 8:18. Let's keep going. I got some time. Briggs, what's the lowest livability score you have seen a city? Okay, so it works out like this. Livability scores, anything above 80% is excellent. Anything between 78 and 65, definitely livable, nice. Once you start getting into the low 60s and 50s, it sucks. 40s, avoid at all costs. Actually, the United States would probably be willing to give those to another country. But I've actually seen one that was 37, I believe, 37 or 39, one of them. That's the lowest I've seen. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Ronald. Best town in Virginia? That's a good question. There's a couple I like, but I do like Virginia Beach. That's probably one of the best ones I've been to that I really liked. Oh, best city employment in the arts. Wow, I don't know, Whitney. That's a good question, though. There it is. Best city employment in the arts. That is a good question. New York City, I would imagine, is probably one of your best bets. Or Chicago. St. Petersburg, Florida is supposedly the most humid city in the U.S. I find that reasonable. I always thought Meridian, Mississippi was. Cumberland Gap. Newburgh, New York. Let's see what their crime rate is. Oh, yeah, Newburgh sucks, too. 46 is their livability score. Their crime rate is, it's not horrible, 52% above the national average. Violent crime rate is 162 above the national average. But everything else, cost of living sucks, employment sucks, housing, schools, and user rating. There's an F for you. That's usually how do the locals rate it. And the locals don't even like this place. Which city would you rather live in? Flint, Michigan, or Pine Bluff, Arkansas? Probably Flint. You do a video about a medium-sized town on an interstate highway, the nearest airport, hours wait. That could be pretty good. Medium towns away from it all. I did. I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. Who was it? Oh, man. Did I miss one? No, I got Wild Laskin asking Northeast Wyoming. Oh, did I miss this one? Oh, Blue Comet, I did. I got a super sticker. Thank you very much. Blue Comet, I appreciate that. I'm sorry I dropped the ball. I was looking something up and it flew past me. My apologies. But thank you for supporting the channel. Blue Comet 833. Do you have a channel? That seems kind of interesting. The name of that. Oh, I know how I find that. Thank you for letting me know about that. I hate it when I miss things like that. Which favorite state in the country? Pennsylvania, Oregon? One of them. What's the most underrated city in Florida? I think Tampa is. I think Tampa always takes a backseat to Miami, maybe even Orlando and Jacksonville. But I think Tampa is one of the best cities they have to offer as far as cities go. What are my thoughts on George Carlin? I loved his comedy. I do have T-shirts that say "Stop typing." I haven't made those in a while though. Love to, yeah, environmental allergy. That is, I love Pennsylvania. I don't know why. I just like the people. I like the vibe they got there. Best towns in New York City. Anything up in the Finger Lakes. It's like pick one. I love that area. City in the U.S. for food and restaurants. Again, I would say Chicago or Laredo, Texas, because I like pizza or I like Mexican food. But I will tell you, even though I don't like Miami, Little Havana, you can get some good food down there. Debbie, World Corn Bags, are you doing any more videos on other countries? I will. I have some planned, but I like to space those out because here's the thing that we're talking about money on YouTube. Um, American videos pay more because Americans have more disposable cash than other countries. So if I do something on Europe, they're not as valued of a audience or Asia for that matter as North America is, Mexico, Canada, United States. So I get paid half for a European video. I still like doing them. They got a lot of material there, but it's just weird. So if I back the thing is if you put too many videos that let's say fall short together, YouTube kind of punishes you. It's like, oh, you're losing your mojo, so they quit, trying your stuff out on audiences. So I try not to do too many one like that, too close together. Worst state for seasonal allergies. I'm suffering right now. You and my son. Oregon's one of them too. That could be good. I could add that to another one. Maybe I will do that by itself. West Pueblo, Florence, Colorado. I like Pueblo, Colorado. A lot of people say it's not that great. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Would you rather live in Virginia Beach or Atlanta? Virginia Beach. Hey, Manuel. Thank you. Wellington, Kansas. You may be the first one here to show up from Wellington, Kansas. Let's see where Wellington is. Oh, wow. You're way out in the sticks, Manuel. Oh, I guess you're not that bad. Wichita's right there. It's not bad, but yeah, you're a little out there in the sticks, aren't you? That prairie life. That doesn't look that bad. I like that place. Kansas is a great place to live if you just, want to relax. That's my opinion. It's a nice, quiet life out there for most people. Thank you for supporting the channel, Noah's Place. Really appreciate that. YouTube can be mean sometimes. You've ever been to? Oh, here we go. What is the best town in the country that you have ever been to? In this country? Um, Best town. I like Honesdale. I like Bend, Oregon. I love Cannon Beach. Uh, Probably the town that I've enjoyed the most. I really like Monterey, California. Monterey was amazing. I loved it. Hello from Seattle. Briggs, do you know Syria is so bad that it beats North Korea in suckage? Yeah, you got to be pushing pretty hard when you beat North Korea in suckage. Are you going to team up with Nick Johnson anytime soon again? I got on and talked on one of or two of his videos, I think, about Portland. But we keep talking about it. We never get around to it. I think me and him are kind of laser focused on our own channel, and we keep talking. We're gonna do a crossover thing, or a what do they call it? collaboration, but we haven't got around to it yet. Man, well, thank you very much. Here you go. And absolutely, buddy. I appreciate you watching. Watkins Glen, New York. I've been there to watch a race. That's about it. I was only there for like 2 hours. Or, well, not 2 hours. I was only there for like 2 hours in town. Went and watched the race, then we drove out. But it is beautiful. Love that part of the country. What do you think of Las Vegas for employment? Whitney, it's not a bad place to move. Sometimes, I don't know. It's mixed. They do have jobs there, but most people that move to Vegas, they hate it. It's almost like those people that move to, a cold climate like Minnesota, and they get there, they spend like 1 or 2 winters, they're like, F this, I'm out of here. That's kind of how Vegas is. Once you hit a couple summers, you're about done. Overland Park, I just talked about that. Overland Park, any suburb in Kansas. Shawnee likes it. Yeah, absolutely. Olathe, they're all really good. My favorite cities, Colorado Springs and Lake City, Colorado. Colorado's got some really good places to live. They got their homeless problem too, just like Portland and Seattle. At least the Denver area does. What should your first state to visit? Well, if you're coming from another country, you got to visit New York, probably your first one, or California. It's kind of where everyone starts. But I think if you're coming here from another country and you're going to visit someplace, Colorado's probably the best bet. You got to see the Rockies. What's the best city in the Southwest? I don't know. San Diego. I do have a lot of viewers from Fresno. Actually, one of my best friends, Eric, he's from Fresno originally. He's up here now. What's the best place to retire on the West Coast? I think that jumped. What is the best place to retire on the West Coast? It's probably going to be in Southern Oregon. That's probably going to be your best bet, or in Southern Washington, across the border from Portland. There's a lot of potential there. You save some money because they don't have income. They don't tax your retirement income. So that's good in Washington, at least. So I'd say look at Southern Oregon or Southern Washington. Oh, we got a super chat again. Let me get this here. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, missed it. There we go. Thanks for the shout out. Longtime viewer, watched all the Colorado videos. Please do an updated one, smaller towns in Colorado. I think I will. I think it's time to update the Colorado small towns. What's the worst town you have ever been to in the country? Worst town. If you talk about town instead of a city. Columbus, Georgia. Horrible place. Blue Comet, thoughts on Long Island, New York? I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. I haven't been there enough to really make an assessment of it other than stats. I'm puzzled to hear New York is losing people. Oh, by the way, Frank, thank you for supporting the channel. And you too, Noah's Place. I really appreciate it. I'm puzzled to hear that New York's losing people. Drove to New York City last week. Apartment buildings are going up all over the place. What's really going on? So people are flooding out of New York City. The downside is they still have a good influx of people coming in. The population isn't going down as much as, well, it is a little bit, but really what everyone's all up in arms about and what the real problem is a lot of longtime residents are leaving, and they're taking companies with them. Companies have decided they don't need New York City anymore. So a lot of companies are leaving. Their employees are leaving, moving to Connecticut and the surrounding area, and working remotely. A lot of finance companies are switching to this type of model right now. So that's the biggest problem. And a lot of apartments are going up because they think New York will eventually turn around, and it takes a few years to get those buildings up. By the time they're up, they're gambling that New York will reverse its fortunes like it has many times in the past. Utica. Vancouver, Washington, great place to retire. It is not a bad place to retire, live. My sister retired from Southern California, her and her husband, and they moved up to Southern Washington, not too far from Vancouver. And they saved a buttload on their retirement because they don't tax it. I forget the number, but it was about a $2,000 increase, I think, that they make every month just by moving to Washington and taxes. Best river town in each state. That could be a good video. What do you? Oh, here we go. Hello. Thank you for supporting the channel, Jeremy Turk. Rick's thoughts on Lake Charles, Louisiana. Lake Charles, like everywhere else in Louisiana, isn't great. Lake Charles, I mean, it could be so much better. Here we go. New York can no longer make preconditioning for concealed carry permits. Yeah, there's gonna I think there's gonna be some blocks there, but it seems to be that's the new thing. I'm not a giant gun advocate. I do have firearms and stuff like that. My own views are different. Uh, but I think, they can't that's it's just they should allow people as long as they're don't have any problems. They're not suffering from some kind of mental disorder, they're not a convict. I think you should be able to have a firearm until you prove you shouldn't have a firearm. Sadly, when you prove you shouldn't, something bad happens. Leaving California in a year. I'm 27 and like small, lively cities with decent weather and home prices. Which state is better? Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, or Florida? Of those three, I would choose Virginia, North Carolina. Texas is played out. Florida is again played out too. I really appreciate you supporting the channel, by the way. And Georgia, Atlanta's really the big place to move, or the suburbs around there. Um, I would definitely choose Virginia, North Carolina. Just about any place in each of those states, you could find what you're looking for. I'm sorry, excuse me. Arlington area, Fairfax, all that's a little expensive. You might want to avoid that in Virginia. Erica Matson, let's see. Hey, what's your favorite state in New England? Vermont. I love Vermont. Take the Vermonter train during the fall and see the Oh, it's beautiful. The downside is if you're going north on that one, most of the best footage is going to be at night, so that sucks. Oh, here we go. Best city for college grads in Oregon, probably Bend or Portland. Yeah, there's an argument for that, Robin. Carolina is better than Virginia. A lot of people say that. Um, Virginia or North Carolina is just really popular right now. Mitchell, let's see what we got here. Thank you for supporting the channel. The price, oh, yeah, the price in Homer, Alaska used to be 20% higher than those in the lower 48. Not anymore. Start a house, 2 bedroom, 300K and up. Been looking to relocate to Western Colorado or Eastern Washington, Oregon. Homer is seeing a lot of people leave there, so their prices should be falling pretty good here in the next coming years. Briggs, what are your worst three states, in my opinion? I don't like Florida. Not a fan. I could do without Mississippi, even though I got family from there. And, I'm not an Arizona fan because I just don't like the desert. That's just me. Now, I understand the whole state isn't desert. They got some mountains and stuff, but it's just a desert state to me. Mohammed, thank you for supporting the channel. And you too, Mitchell, again. Thank you for supporting the channel, guys. It really helps out. Gas Cali 710. Yeah, it's only Beverly Hills, though. Whitney, best cities for college graduates in Florida. Ooh, stay out of Tallahassee. That will do you no good. The Tampa Bay metro area is probably a good place to move to, as is Orlando. It's not just Disneyland and Universal and all that. They do have a lot of different companies that are working out of Orlando these days. So it depends on what your major was. Orlando, Tampa Metro, those are the places I would look. Hickory, North Carolina. Been building boom town, 600 homes. Oh wow. Any plans for making let me see this. Any plans for making a show about Maine, I'm sorry, and its towns? Yeah, Maine is getting more and more popular. I guess it's such a nice state. People are just, blowing past the fact that it gets extremely cold. That's really all of New England. That's how a lot of these things. It's weird. So Portland's got its rain and stuff like that, but it became so attractive to people. People just ignored that and started moving up here from Southern California in the 1990s. I think that's kind of how New England is looking right now, and Wisconsin, Minneapolis, or Minnesota, I should say. People are going, you know what? It's a better place to live. I'm gonna have to suffer through the winter, and they're doing it. Before that, you used to that was the deal breaker for most people, the cold weather. World of Gordon Briggs, Disneyland, California, Disney World, Florida. I know, stop typing. Which would I prefer? I I like Disneyland because that's my hometown. I spent so many days in Disneyland from age 5 till 35. How old was I moved up here? I think the last time I went to Disneyland was in 2010, but there weren't many years in my life that I didn't go at least once over the year. Andrew Hobbs, favorite Connecticut town? Ooh, good question. I can't even think of one right now. I'm not that big on Connecticut. I do find it to be an amazing state because of a couple things. One, um, they uh, they have some of the worst towns, yet they have some of the most wealthy towns in the country. It's really strange. It's like the I often tell people they really don't have like a middle class. You got ultra rich or very poor. Um, but I like some of the beach areas they have, like New London and stuff like that. It gets a little cold, but some of the little areas around New London I find decent. Mystic's always a fun place to visit. Best cities for college graduates in for humanity. Ugh, got me on that one, Whitney. Boulder, Colorado. Love that place. Green Briggs from Northwest Florida. This area is really growing. Oh yeah, I've been to Pensacola quite a few times. When I was young, I thought it was Pepsi Cola. I really did. I called it Pepsi Cola. I think someone corrected me when I was like 17. It's Pensacola. I was all, really? I was like, I didn't know that. What are my thoughts on the very wealthy places in Woodland, Texas? Yeah, Woodland's they're not building poor people homes anymore, are they? Man, best cities for art in Texas. Any place. Austin's probably your best bet though. Maine people say that you're too nice. I love Maine. Maine people are great. Where should there be winter? New Hampshire, summer, fall. Yeah. Um, Athens, Georgia. B-52s are from there, and so is REM. Uh, I mean, it's basically a small town. It's typical Southern town though. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm zoning out and my vision's going, and I got to do some work on this room. We're gonna do this again next Saturday. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Hey, Blue Comet, thanks for supporting the channel once again. Really appreciate that. We're gonna do this. I keep wanting to do during the weekday. Here, let's take a minute. What's the best day of the week if we did it during a weekday? Go ahead, let me know. Oh, actually, I think I can do a poll. I don't know if it gives me 5 options. We didn't do Friday. Friday, Friday, Friday. I'm gonna let this run for a second here. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, and go back and watch one of my older videos. That's one thing I want to do one of these days. Oh, hey, Noah, thanks. Shout out. Oh, that's from earlier. I want to try and trick the algorithm one day and just put up one of my older videos and find out if we can all just go watch it and see if it tricks the algorithm to start suggesting again. I've always want to see if that can happen. Some other YouTuber one time said that he's done that in the past, and also in a video that was kind of dead on his channel came to life for like a month. I want to see if that really works. Friday, like and comment. All right, Friday seems to be the winner. Thursday, close second too. For everyone, I appreciate you being here tonight. Thanks for supporting the channel, all the people that did. I really appreciate that. I think what we'll do when we'll do a giveaway when we get to 1 million. Maybe t-shirts or something like that, or gift cards, something. I don't know. We'll figure something out like that. All right, so I think we'll shoot for next Friday to do a live stream. Probably around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. By then, I should have my office back to normal. Payday Friday. All right, everyone. Have a great night. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We'll see you Friday night, okay? Thanks, everyone. Thanks for hanging out, Manuel. Manuel, sorry. Thanks, Daniel.